Hey friends, so now we will see two sample t-test. As last time we have seen one example on one sample t-test. So basically the two sample t-test we are going to see is that is a t-test is used to determine if two population means are equal or not, right? So a common application is to test if a new treatment or approach or process is yielding better results than the current treatment or approach or processes. So what we going to use is that is data is paired or data is not paired. If data is paired, that means let's say a group of students are given coaching classes and effect of coaching on the mark scored is determined. But when we talk about the data is not paired, so for example find out whether the miles per gallon of cars of Japanese make is superior to car of Indian make, right? So again, let's import the necessary library NumPy, Pandas, SciPy, and from that we are importing t-test one sample and t-test ind, right, which is for two sample. So again, to matplotlib to visualize our plots, seaborn same, stat for statistics and stat model API that. And here once more thing we are taking is stats API, that is from stats model, right? So let's see the example for the independent two sample t-test. So we have a hotel manager looks to enhance the initial impression that hotel guests have when they check in, right? So you can say that how genuine the problem is. It could be anything related to our daily life. So contributing to initial impression is the time to take to deliver a guest luggage to the room after check-in, right? So a random sample of 20 deliveries on a particular day were selected in wing A, okay, of the hotel, and a random sample of 20 deliveries were selected in wing B. So the results are stored in luggage. Okay, so analyze the data and determine whether there is a difference between the mean delivery time in the two wings of the hotel or not. Okay, where we have alpha value, that is 0.05. So let's import the data set that we have is luggage, which I'll be providing in the description as well. And this is we have wing A and wing B. Okay, so again, stepwise step. First step is to define null and alternative hypothesis. Okay, so in our case, testing whether the mean time of deliveries of the luggage are same in or no both the wing of hotels, and the null hypothesis states that the mean time to deliver the luggage are the same, that is mu A equals to mu B. Okay, so the alternative hypothesis states that the mean time to deliver the luggage are different, that is mu A is not equals to mu B. So for null hypothesis, that is mu A minus mu B, which is 0 in our case, and for alternative hypothesis, which is not equals to 0, of course. So decide that the significance level is the second step. Here we select alpha equals to 0.05 and population standard deviation is not known. Next thing, so identify the statistics. So we have two sample and we do not know the population standard deviation. So sample size for both samples are same, right? So the sample is not large sample, which here is n is less than 30. So you use the t distribution and the t stats test statistic for two sample unpaired tests. Okay, now next thing is to calculate the p-value and test statistic. So we have the SciPy stat t-test, right, and t-test for the mean of two independent sample of scores given the two sample observation. Okay, so this function returns t statistics and two tailed p-value. Okay, so for this exercise we are going to first assume that the variance is equal and the compute the necessary statistical values. Okay, so again for t statistics and p value we are now using t test underscore ind, okay, for two sample t test, which is in wing data in my data and wing data B in my data. Now we get the t statistics from t stat and p value from this wing B data. So here you can see that this is what the value we got. Now to decide to reject or accept the null hypothesis. So again the condition is if p value is less than 0.05 or 0.05 is greater than alternative hypothesis. So they don't have the same mean at the 5% significance level. So two sample t-test p-value would be our p-value that we got from here. Alpha value we are defining here. Now let's check the condition. If p-value, okay, this is that is less than alpha level, so we can say that we have enough evidence to reject the null hypothesis, all right, in favor of alternative hypothesis. Second thing, we can conclude that the mean time to deliver luggage in of both the wings of the hotel are not same, okay. And else case, what we can do is we do not have enough evidence to reject the null hypothesis in favor of alternative hypothesis, right? So we conclude that the mean time to deliver luggage in of both the wings of the hotel are same. So this is what our two sample t-test or p-value is, and this is the printed item we got. Now let's see one more example on paired t-test, right? So the file concrete contains that the compressive strength, all right, so in thousands of pounds per square inch psi of 40 samples of concrete taken 2 and 7 days after pouring, right? So the data extracted from this particular database. So at the 0.01 level of significance, is there evidence that the mean strength is lower at 2 days than at 7 days? Okay, so let's say we include the CSV, that is concrete CSV again, and again first step we define null and alternative hypothesis. Okay, so in our case we are saying that our null hypothesis is greater than equals to 0, and whereas alternative is less than 0. So second step is to decide the significance level. So in our case here it is stated that we are going to use a 0.01 level of significance, right? So which is this. So third is to identify the test statistics. So sample size for both sample are same, right? So we have two paired sample and we do not know the population standard deviation, okay. So the sample is not a large sample, that is n is less than 30, so you use the t distribution and the t stat, right? So test statistics for two sample pair test. Now fourth step is to calculate the p value and test statistics. So we use scipy again, t test underscore rel, right? So to calculate the t test on two related sample of score, right? So this is two-sided test for the null hypothesis that two related or repeated samples have identical average expected values. So here we give the two sampled observation as input, then this function returns a statistics and two-tailed p-value, okay. Now t statistics and again p value we got from these two columns, that is 2 days and 7 days in my data, which is our from t test rel function, all right. So this is what we got, t stats and p value. Now to decide reject or accept null hypothesis, again the same condition for alternative hypothesis and p value we are giving that, and we are telling that okay, pair 2 sample t test p value is p value divided by 2 for pair data. I hope for pair means there are 2. So alpha value we have 0.01. Again we are telling that if the pair 2 sample t test p value is less than alpha value, so we have enough evidence again to reject the null hypothesis in favor of alternative hypothesis, else we do not have enough evidence to reject the null hypothesis in favor of alternative hypothesis. So this is what we will get from here. All right, thank you.